The house was loud before I even stepped inside. Not chaotic, curated loud. Music at the right volume, laughter cue to punchlines, glasses refilled before they were empty. My brother's birthday parties were always like that. Carefully casual. Effort disguised as ease. I paused near the entryway, adjusting my jacket, watching the room decide where I belonged. The table told the story before anyone spoke. Long, polished wood. Name cards placed with intention. My parents at the head. My brother centered, flanked by friends who nodded too often. I was seated at the far end, near the kitchen pass. Through. Close to the work. Not close to the conversation. I noticed it. I always did. I just didn't comment anymore. People greeted me warmly enough. The warmth never lingered. Conversations slid past me like water over glass. Someone asked if I'd been busy lately. The way people ask when they already know the answer doesn't matter, I had been busy. I always was. I'd paid the caterer. Covered the rental deposit when my brother wanted something upscale this year. I'd transferred the money 2 days earlier, no note attached. That had become my role. Silent logistics, invisible support. It was easier than arguing. Or so I'd told myself. Dinner moved along. Toasts were made. My brother stood, glass raised, performing gratitude with the confidence of someone who'd never had to check a balance before ordering champagne. And of course, he said, scanning the room, none of this would be possible without family. A few people clapped. I felt the familiar flicker of relief. Maybe that was it. Maybe this year would pass without the usual edge. Then he reached behind him and pulled out an apron. White. Clean. Still folded. He smiled at me, wide and theatrical. You should play the maid, he said. You don't belong at the same table. For a split second, the room didn't react. Then laughter broke out, sharp, surprised, contagious. Someone snorted. Someone else looked down at their plate, smiling anyway. I felt heat rise, but not in my chest. A slow, controlled burn. The apron hovered between us. An invitation. A dare. This wasn't new. It was just louder than before. I thought of all the other moments that had sounded like jokes. The way my contributions were called help. The way my money was temporary. The way dependence had been dressed entitlement. I stood up. The chair scraped softly against the floor. The sound cut through the laughter more effectively than any shout could have. Understood, I said. The room quieted, not fully, but enough. And the allowance won't be coming back either. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't look angry. I didn't look at anyone except my brother, whose smile had stalled halfway across his face. Someone laughed again, uncertain this time. A friend leaned toward him and whispered, probably assuming this was part of the act. I sat back down. The party continued. Because that's what people do when something uncomfortable happens in a social setting. Music resumed. Plates were cleared. Someone told a story too loudly to cover the silence that hadn't quite gone away. My brother avoided looking at me. My parents didn't say a word. Not then. Not later. I left before dessert. Outside, the air felt cooler than it should have. I sat in my car for a few minutes, hands on the steering wheel, not starting the engine yet. I didn't feel powerful. I felt tired. The kind of tired that comes when you finally stop holding something up and realize how heavy it was. By midnight, my phone started buzzing. At first, I ignored it. I already knew what it would say. Confusion, then irritation, then panic disguised as humor. The rhythm was predictable. I made tea. I changed into comfortable clothes. I sat on the couch and let the phone vibrate itself quiet. Then it rang again and again. I answered on the 5th call. Hello, I said. Relief flooded the line. There you are. My brother said, forcing a laugh. Very funny joke earlier. You really had everyone going? I closed my eyes. The transfer didn't come through, he added, tone sharpening. Did you change something? Yes. A pause. So you'll fix it? I pictured the apron, the laughter, the way the room had decided instantly that I was part of the furniture. No, I said. Another pause. Longer this time? You're serious? He asked. His voice dropped. Come on. Don't be dramatic. You know how this works. I did. That was the problem. Wrong number, I said quietly. The maids quit? I ended the call before he could respond. The phone rang again almost immediately. Then messages. Then my mother's name appeared on the screen. I didn't answer. In the days that followed, the consequences unfolded without spectacle. Bills missed. Plans postponed. Confusion turned into accusation. Accusation turned into bargaining. I stayed calm. I explained once, briefly. Then I stopped explaining. I didn't feel victorious. I felt strangely exposed, like I'd stepped into a light I'd avoided for years. Some days, the guilt pressed hard. Other days, the relief did. The silence between us settled into something new. Not peace, not war, just distance with edges. At my brother's next gathering, I wasn't invited. I noticed, and then, unexpectedly, I didn't mind. Respect, I learned, isn't reclaimed with a speech. It arrives quietly, after you stop paying for your own erasure.